Good morning from Prague. My name is Eva Bartoňová. I'm head of the Americas unit at the Ministry of Industry and Trade. And I would like to welcome you all to this session, which will focus on the Chilean startup program SEED and the general startup opportunities. First of all, I would like to have a few technical remarks. As you have all been notified by my colleague, this event is going to be recorded so that we can share it afterwards. And also one other comment, we would kindly ask you to mute your microphones while other speakers are talking so that we don't get any background noises from anyone. We can mute you ourselves, so if there is any difficulties, we can help out, but it would be a nice courtesy. Also, one more comment, the Q&A session will be held at the end of the event, but if you have any really necessary comment to be made during the presentation, you can mark the raised hand in your window or write in the chat window in comments, and we will try to respond to them as soon as possible. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome our first two speakers, Deputy Minister Petr Očko, who is here with us, and His Excellency Mr. Utreras, Ambassador of Chile to Czech Republic, who will give a few opening remarks to this event. So please, Mr. Minister.
So good afternoon, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, dear guests. It's my real pleasure to be one of the people that actually have a few words in the beginning of the seminar, Chile as a startup gate to Latin America, opportunities of the SEED program. So first, I would like to welcome you on behalf of the Ministry of Industry and Trade this event, and I would like to thank and express my gratitude to Embassy of Chile in the Czech Republic, and also Pro-Chile and Startup Chile for suggesting this idea and for cooperating on this seminar. Thank you very much for that. I'm very happy to be here because I'm Deputy Minister responsible for digitalization and innovation. So this is exactly the event I'm very happy personally to be at, actually, because we speak about innovative startups. We speak about digitalization. We are digital. Actually, we use digital technologies with Mr. Ambassador. We spoke just about how the crisis helped us to accelerate, to use digital technologies everywhere in business, in academia, in schools, but also in the state administration. That actually was the most efficient way how to digitalize state administration in the Czech Republic. I cannot speak for Chile, but Czech Republic it helped very much, definitely. And I would like to say that strengthening our ties with Chile is very strategic for the Czech Republic. Chile is our fourth most important trading partner in South America, and we share a lot of common interests and perspectives on our future opportunities. Also, the COVID-19 crisis that hopefully comes to an end hopefully in both countries and the rest of the world, very much hope for that. This crisis has confirmed the importance of the emphasis that we have to put on innovation, digitalization, and partnerships. In Czech Republic, we realized during the crisis a few activities that were actually focusing on new innovative ideas that could help with the pandemic. I would like to mention at least a very flexible program that we have named Czech Rise Up that helps innovative ideas that are already in some stage of pre-realization to come to the real world. We had a lot of supported projects in like 3D printing of respirators. We had projects of various applications for social distancing and also e-health. We had applications of nanomaterials for masks and so on. So it was very successful activity, but we have to think how to do this kind of support in the strategic areas more systematically. I would like also to mention that we also developed also very good cooperation between state, academia, and and business also through several platforms that we have developed. One is called COP-Point, like COVID point of contact, I would say. And also we have realized very successful virtual hackathon, Hack the Crisis, that actually lasted for almost 2 months. And we had actually more than 200 projects interested in the hackathon. And in the end, we had 15 the most successful projects, of which we have selected eight that definitely were bringing very unique solutions. And I would like to explain, say that I'm very grateful for this cooperation that showed that the state, business, and academia can work together. So coming back to our seminar. Actually, we are convinced that Chile is an ideal counterpart for any forward-thinking initiatives. We consider our cooperation very promising, especially in advanced technologies and high-tech fields. And in both countries, startups form an essential part of our innovative ecosystems. We believe that startups succeed in addressing current socio-economic issues in many areas, and represent the driving force of employment and development. So both on Czech and Chilean side, we have seen enormous efforts to modernize industries and to develop new solutions. And actually, that's why both countries have developed also robust support system for startups, including incubators, acceleration programs, and a mix of public and private initiatives. We think that we can share immense knowledge regarding this field and promote our trade relations via startup mobility. And above all, getting to know the opportunities and programs on both sides can help us maximize our true potential, and knowing the seed program is an inherent part of this. And finally, I would like to mention that for Czech Republic as well as for Chile, innovation is one of the highest priorities. Czech Republic has a new innovation strategy that is called Czech Republic, the country for the future. So we will be very happy if also companies from Chile come to see and cooperate in Czech Republic, country for the future, and believe Chile is also a country for the future. We will cooperate very closely. We have a lot of activities that I will not name here under this innovation strategy. That is actually 9 pillars in many areas, including spin-offs and startups. Actually, this innovation strategy is really put in practice. Actually, the COVID crisis actually accelerated some of the activities. Some not. Maybe we can speak about that later. So, in conclusion, Ministry of Industry and Trade is ready to support potential projects and partnerships. We stand at the forefront of a complex system of export support, and our services vary and are customized to each individual case and country condition. So, also partnering in acceleration of startups with Chile will undoubtedly allow us to get closer to our goals. So I'm glad that we have established an official dialogue with Chile in the field of startup support. I hope more initiatives will follow. I would like to thank again His Excellency Ambassador Perez for his hard work and cooperation on this event. I'm also glad that we will be able to hear from the representative of Startup Chile, Mr. Cesar Jimenez, specialist on startup acceleration in the Chilean environment, who is for the first time going to introduce the C program in the Czech Republic. So to the public, with the goal of promoting this amazing opportunity accessible for startups from the whole world. And it is also positive that personal experience will be provided by the program's alumnus, Mr. Leonard, founder of Recorrido. I would like to all of us successful seminar full of inspiration new pieces of knowledge and ideas. And again, thank you very much for the organization of this event. Thank you.
So, Your Excellency, please, if you would also give a few remarks
Thank
to
you.
begin with.
Thank you. Good afternoon and good morning to our colleagues from Chile. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start by expressing my deep appreciation for Deputy Minister Peter Oshko, nice words and kind words of in opening remarks of this seminar. His Excellency, I feel much honored that I was invited to open this webinar alongside with you. And this is really a very nice opportunity. And I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the participants in this seminar. But I would like in particular to thank startup key account manager, Mr. Cesar Jimenez, who, as you know, from Santiago, will present the SEED program this afternoon, and to Mr. Leonard Ruff, the founder of Recorrido, one of the companies that went to develop, was developed in Santiago in this startup context, and he will share his experience with us and with all of you. We are also much obliged by the important support of the Americas unit of the Ministry of Industry and Trade, and particularly Mrs. Eva Bartonova and Linda Slovakova. I think the excellent organization preparation for this webinar is all to their credit. But while Mr. Cesar Jimenez will present the startup program, the SEED program in detail, just allow me to underline that this is a public startup accelerator. That it was launched 10 years ago in 2010 to attract high potential entrepreneurs wanting to use our country as a platform to go global. That is the main idea. And the main purpose of this is to strengthen our enterprise environment and the business innovation culture in Chile. To the successful applicants of this program, we offer a Chilean-based experience to help them develop their business, an equity-free funding of approximately $37,000, and a full package of support, including a working visa, soft landing assistance, and much more that will be explained by my colleague. Deputy Minister, before the COVID-19 pandemic, we were already convinced of the pertinence of organizing this event in a country like Czech Republic, a country with an industry that holds an important place in the world because of his creativity, his business sophistication, the quality of the university and industry collaboration that we just mentioned, and the capacity of this industry to create and deliver a variety of innovative goods and services. And now that the pandemic has wholly reaffirmed our conviction of the need of this event, and this is for two main reasons. First, all over the world, the various and dire consequences of the pandemics for so many aspects of our societies have triggered an amazing array of innovative responses to the challenges that we are suffering. The crisis has put on the spot an immense array of creative people that was coming up with innovative solutions, timely solutions as well, for the many dimensions of this global crisis. And this, I have to say, Minister, this is particularly true in Czech Republic, where we have seen hundreds of creative ideas and initiatives confirming that once again, that the innovative and dynamic character of the Czech industry and the Czech entrepreneurs. And the second reason is that the impact of the pandemics in all countries will be so profound that we should spare no effort to invigorate and reactivate our economy. And for that purpose, for instance, our government has approved a huge financial package of around 7% of GDP that will create many business opportunities for Chilean and foreign companies as well. So we are convinced that by attracting to our country innovative entrepreneurs, like those that are attending this seminar, we are also contributing to reactivate and invigorate Chilean and Czech economies. And finally, I want to express my hope that through this startup program, we will be very soon seeing Czech innovators go to Chile to scale up their businesses, and by so doing, becoming an inspiration for the Chilean business environment, and also contributing to strengthening the economic and commercial relation between our two countries. So I thank you very much for your attention, and wish you all a very productive seminar. Thank you very much.
Ambassador, Deputy Minister, thank you so much for the inspiring words. And I won't hold us up any longer, and I will pass the word to Cesar Jimenez, the Key Account Manager at Startup Chile. He is going to guide us through the seed program and all the details about Startup Chile support that we might be interested in. So Cesar, I see you're connected, so thank you so much, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for your kind words, Deputy Minister and Ambassador, and thank you for all the arrangements, Linda. I hope this top-notch event will have all the impact that we are hoping it will have. I am going to share my screen because I'm sure you want to see this. Okay, so of course I have to introduce myself first. As I was introduced, my name is Cesar Jimenez. I am a Key Account Manager on the Startup Chile program. I have been working there for now more than 3 years. And in my current role, I am in charge of following and helping part of the portfolio that we receive each year to grow and to meet the objectives that they are hoping to achieve here in Chile. So before that, a little bit of context. I'm sure you know about Chile, but most likely you have heard about Chile for more of our primary products. For example, the wine and the copper, and most likely, unfortunately, also for the earthquakes. Chile is a very challenged country in terms of the geographic position that we are in, because we have very rough geographic limits with our most close neighbors. So doing businesses in Chile used to be like doing businesses on an island. It was very traditional, isolated, based on the extraction of primary matters, and it wasn't very technologic and diversified. So following the information and the changes of this fourth industrial revolution that applies technology and innovation to all the processes that we're in, under the Ministry of Economy and under Corfo, there was this plan to create a new type of accelerator or a new type of institution that would help to diversify the economical matrix here in Chile and to apply technology in that. So a Chilean experiment was born under the strict US immigration policies that there was applied after the economic downfall. Chile started to, as the ambassador said, attract these international entrepreneurs with a new offer. This offer under the Ministry of Economy, as I was telling you, and under Corfo, which is the Production Development Corporation. So Startup Chile was born in the year 2010. And the mission of Startup Chile, the first mission was to become the first public business accelerator and one of the most diverse entrepreneurial communities around the globe. So as I told you, in the year 2010, Startup Chile was born. And as the ambassador was telling, our first mission was to have an impact on the cultural mindset of the Chilean people, because I'm sure you understand that under a very strict and not very diversified economical matrix, the cultural impact of that is that the people itself are not very innovative. So the idea was to attract these entrepreneurs to make Chile become a relevant startup hub and to become this port of entrance to not only the businesses in Chile, all over Latin America, and to generate this change of mindset. So in the year 2015, we established that this first mission of impacting the cultural mindset of the Chilean people was achieved because we saw the elevating percentages of Chilean startups that started to apply to this program. So a new mission was born, and the mission was to diversify and sophisticate the economical matrix and to become a relevant startup port to the rest of the world. So what do we require? What are we looking for of the startups that we are accepting in the program? First of all our startups must have a tech-based solution, a tech-based product or service, and must attack a current and an important issue that it's not only from Chile. So we expect to have like a global mindset. We're expecting to fight global problems, not just very local problems, and the solution must be innovative. So they must change the way that things are being done on certain industries. In terms of what we expect of the development of the startups, we have a very early stages entrances to the program, especially the one that is the focus of this seminar, which is the SEED program. It's an acceleration program that we accept startups that are on that they have their own MVP, their mostly validated product, and we help them to start the commercial development of their own businesses. We define ourselves to be industry agnostic, meaning that we accept startups that attack or that are developing businesses in a wide variety of industries. We don't discriminate in that sense. And we are also nationality agnostic, meaning that we accept from any country of the world, and we focus more on the solution that they are developing, more than who is developing this exact solution. So as I told you, we have in the actuality, we have 3 programs. We have the TSF program, the Startup Factory, which is the prototype entrance program that helps. It's a pre-acceleration program that helps female founders that have an idea to develop that idea and to finish with their own MVP. We also have the SEED program, which is the main focus of this seminar, which is a validation stage program. That's why we expect them to have already an MVP when they start in this program. And we help, as the ambassador said, we help with around 40K to 80K US dollars to each startup, depending if they achieve the extension of the program, if they achieve the objectives that they set for themselves when the program started. And we also have our Huella program, which is very similar to the SEED program, but focus on startups that develop solutions that have a triple impact, meaning that they not only develop and grow in the economical sphere, they also help to solve a problem in the environmental and or social spheres. We receive around 200 startups per year because we receive 2 batches of each of our 3 programs. And now focusing on the SEED program, we have our next application process that is going to start in the last week of September. The exact date is to be defined. And as I was telling you, what do we expect of the startups that apply to this program? They must have already a minimum viable product that has been validated with potential users or customers. The solution must be innovative and must be tech-based. and you have to show impact in Chile and in the LATAM region. If you are interested in applying to this program, you can look for information in the Startup Chile website. Here I put just some information about the processes. To apply to the program, you must record a 1-minute video, and you have to have recommendation letters, okay, at least one. This recommendation letter, the idea is that it's from someone that can validate your solution and that has certain position in the industry that you hope to grow. Okay, and obviously there's a list of questions that you have to answer, but they are very standard regarding to the application to other programs. And you can check for examples on the Startup Chile website. Okay, I didn't put one in the presentation because it didn't look very good, and it's very extensive. So if you're interested, you can check it for yourself. So what do we offer? We offer, first of all, a 1-year working visa and a soft landing process to start your developing businesses here in Chile. Obviously, pre-COVID contingency, this meaning an actual soft landing in Chile. Now we mean like a virtual soft landing in terms of giving you the connections that you may need to start the developing of your business virtually here in Chile. We offer also a free co-working space that obviously right now under this situation is closed, but we hope to open as soon as it's sanitary possible for us. We also offer this equity-free funding, equity-free meaning that we don't take any percentage of participation of any of our startups. As we are a public agency, we only support and we don't buy or take any part of the solutions that we help to grow. We have more than $100,000 in perks that are, for example, connections that we have, and we can offer benefits with, for example, Amazon Web Service, Google Suite, Google Ads, Facebook, etc. And we also have offer from other businesses or solutions that you may need to make your own business grow. For example, accountants, legal offices, etc. We offer access to our global networks. We have a wider range of networks internationally with other accelerators, with other institutions, with the public sector, etc. And we offer our very own acceleration program. Here is a picture of the closing ceremony of the last program that we have in the seed program. And this is actually the demo day where they show the progress that they made during the program. And this actually happened last week virtually for our current generation. So what is the methodology of Startup Chile? We believe in open acceleration, meaning that we have all this variety of connections that I'm going to go deep in the next slide. And we offer them completely to our entrepreneurs. So each connection that we have is an open connection for our entrepreneurs, but we only establish the first point of connection. We don't follow that connection, so because we believe in the responsibility of the entrepreneur to take the maximum benefit of these connections and to help these connections actually make their own business grow. And our pillars of the program is that we offer a wide variety of networks and resources. We have a very strict tracking processes in terms of the achievement of objectives and the use of the public funding. And we also have a side business of academy processes that help us democratize the opportunities that all of our entrepreneurs can achieve. Because as I'm sure you understand, as we don't believe we are industry and nationality agnostic, the variety of entrepreneurs that we receive is very diverse. So with the academy processes and the communication and measurement communications and the community activities are focused on establishing like a certain common ground for all of our entrepreneurs to start growing. And now what do we mean when we say our networks and resources? We have more than 200 voluntary mentors that are experts on diverse industries and processes that can help and will help our entrepreneurs to grow. We have more than 180 corporate and government partners. We have more than 100 worldwide partners in terms of other agencies of the public sector, governments, etc. We have a network of more than 50 investors, and we have helped more than 4,000 entrepreneurs all around the globe. In terms of results, Startup Chile was recognized as the #1 accelerator in LATAM, and it's part of the top 10 accelerators globally. This is awesome, and not just because this top 10 not only includes public accelerators. We were the first public accelerator, but another 50 countries created a similar program in their own countries, inspired in Startup Chile. And comparing with the wide variety of public and private accelerators in the whole world, Startup Chile was recognized of being in the top 10 and the #1 in LATAM. We have made more than 10,000 press publications worldwide. And in terms of our portfolio, as I told you, we have helped more than 4,000 entrepreneurs, and which means we have helped more than 1,600 startups from 85 countries. In terms of our survival rate, we have more than a 50% of survival rate, which in the startup world is a very high number. It's almost a 60% in Chile and more than the half from abroad. In terms of the startups that remain doing businesses in Chile, more than half of the active startups are still operating in Chile. From that percentage, the 50% is Chilean and the 49% is international. We have had 40 exits, meaning that startups that arrived to a certain level of product, that product was acquired by a bigger enterprise or business. And here are some numbers in terms of sales. We have almost $600,000 million in sales abroad, and we have helped create jobs for more than 10,000 people around the globe. Now, about some success cases. From our pilot program, I can talk you about Magma Partners, which was a logistic tool to maintain the machinery and other technical processes for industrial businesses, and actually provides a funding for other startups in Chile and from LATAM. Another success case could be the Not Company, which is a food tech company that develops solutions, vegan solutions, that are very similar to the actual product, based only on vegetal products. And the technological, very interesting part is that they developed an AI that is called Giuseppe. And Giuseppe helps to create formulas of only plant-based products. And the Not Company raised $30 million with Jeff Bezos from Amazon. And obviously, you will hear about one of our other success cases after this presentation, which is Recorrido. I'm sure Leonard will be very eager to tell you about them. So thank you for your attention. I hear you can find the contact email of Startup Chile. We answer every email that we receive with questions about our programs, about the conditions to apply, about what we expect from the entrepreneurs, and also about how we are handling this contingency about COVID, which I didn't want to go very deep because as we are tech-based, all of our program has been working the exact same, with the difference is that we are not doing any physical face-to-face activities. Obviously, the cowork is closed, but we are still doing meetings, we are still doing community activities with all the entrepreneurs from their home. And from this current generation of the seed program that we are receiving this month, there will be the first generation that will have a virtual-only program, which means that they won't need to come to Chile, but they need to hire a local administrator of their business to show us that they have intentions of developing this business in Chile and to have an economical impact here in Chile. So I am very pleased for this presentation. If you have any question, I am eager to answer it. Thank you for the attention and for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much, Cesar. I think this was an excellent presentation, and I bet it's provoked many questions, but we will try to hold them for a little bit longer. We don't see anything in the chat yet. So since you're staying with us till the very end, we can hold those questions for later. And now we will have, as you mentioned, the second presentation by Leonard Ruff, the founder of Recorrido, which is the company that is a successful alumnus of the seed program and has skyrocketed in Chile. Also, it's pretty useful because it's a company that helps you find the best bus tickets for the whole of Chile at the best price. So not only can you use them as an inspiration, but maybe if you travel to Chile, they might also be of use. So I will now ask Leonard if he can take over and give us his presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be able to present to you what we have been doing in the past years, and I will just get into it, sharing my presentation here. So you should be able to see it now. So like your introduction already said, we are focusing on the intercity bus market, not only in Chile, but also in other countries in Latin America already, and plan to go across the whole region with our product. So as many of you probably know, in Latin America, almost no trains exist, and the majority of the people use the intercity bus to travel from one city to another. So in comparison to Europe, where recently, for example, Flixbus was growing a lot, this market in Latin America is way bigger than in Europe, and is the major means of transportation for a large part of the population, especially people from the middle to lower classes, students, people who want to visit their families in the region or want to go to places where no airport exists. The bus is the way to go. But the customer experience is pretty horrible if you compare to standards we are used to from Europe. This is an actual picture of a bus terminal in Santiago de Chile on a long weekend where thousands of people were trying to get to their bus and travel to their destination. There's almost no transparency on prices, on schedules, and on the service of the different bus companies. So before our solution existed, it was a pretty intransparent market and very hard to get a bus ticket and even purchase a bus ticket online. To give you an idea, in Chile, more than 100 intercity bus companies exist, of course, of different sizes, but they are most of the time family-owned businesses, which started in their region and many times started out as a bus driver themselves, and then grew their business over the years, and now have fleets, sometimes with more than 300 buses, operating a decent amount of passenger numbers each year. But the problem is not only on the customer side, but also on the business side, on the technological side. This is an actual screenshot of one of the largest bus operators in Chile, which operates more than 1,000 buses. And if you see this screenshot, it looks probably familiar to some of you. They use Microsoft DOS as a basis for operating all of their sales, inventory, scheduling, and pricing. And of course, this puts a lot of limits on how you can innovate in this market. So the problem is twofold. The first side is the customer side, where there's almost no transparency, and they have to stand in line in physical bus terminals to get a bus ticket. And on the other side, the technological problem within the bus companies that they use outdated systems. So when we arrived in Chile in 2013, our vision was to tackle both problems. So it's a B2B2C solution we are offering to optimize this whole industry. So what we are doing is we are offering a comparison platform for travelers to be able to find their best bus ticket. So the bus traveler enters the origin, destination, and travel date, and within a few seconds, they see all the different bus companies that operate on this route, can compare prices, schedules, and also something very important and new in this market, customer ratings, publicly available, that the same travelers, after having realized their trip, are submitting to our platform. So all travelers can get a pretty transparent and neutral view about the quality of all bus companies, which is really important, because in this market there are also what we call pirate companies, that are informal companies that might not be that safe. So our platform really is improving the standard of the whole industry in that sense. Also, what we are offering is a white label solution. So what we encountered when we started out here in Chile is that bus companies, even with 200 or 300 buses, didn't have online sales in 2013. So all of their travelers every time had to go to their bus terminal and buy the ticket, something that we from Europe probably don't know anymore, but like 15 years ago, it was kind of the same thing. And we are offering now a white label solution to more than 15 bus companies here in Chile, and they process their whole online sales through our technology and our booking backend. Also, something which you see here on the lower right side of the slide is we implemented mobile ticketing, something which was adopted very quickly here in the market, because the people in Chile are highly digitalized. Almost everyone has a smartphone. Also, a lot of people, or the majority, has a bank account. So it was a solution that was adopted very quickly and removes all the hassle of having to print a ticket or picking it up at the counter. So to give you an idea of the market size here in Latin America, the intercity bus market is estimated to have a volume of more than $22 billion US, but currently only 7.2% are sold online. Our vision is to get to a number that is way higher. We aim to be at 50% in 2025, something we see very realistic, because if you look at Germany, where I'm from, in 2010, for the first time, more tickets were sold online for the trains than offline. And we estimate the same thing to happen, but only with a delay here in Latin America. And of course, our solution not only targets Chile, we are already operating in Peru as well. And we aim to go to other markets in Latin America in the near future. Of course, other markets are way bigger, but I will tell you later on why we selected Chile as the first market to start from. So to tell you a little bit about our technology, as you saw on the slide before, we offer a lot of different solutions for the customer, the comparison platform, the mobile apps, the white label solution. But also recently we launched a software as a service product, which is called Recorrido Terra. And this aims to solve the whole technological problem of the systems the bus companies use currently in their company. So we aim to replace all the outdated infrastructure with a cloud-based solution that will enable us to bring new innovations into this industry. So, for example, if you think about GPS tracking or dynamic alerts about when your bus will arrive or at which bus gate in the terminal it will be, all this information currently cannot be provided to the customer because the the technological infrastructure within the bus company is outdated. So we will replace it, and we will innovate upon this new basis and offer features to the bus company and also to the customer with regards to many aspects. And what we are also aiming to do in the future is implement artificial intelligence into our product. So, for example, if you think about dynamic yield management, dynamic pricing according to the different customer behavior, or also implementing a curbside model that would somehow not replace but minimize the importance of centralized bus terminals within a city and bring certain locations closer to the customer where they can board their bus, closer to where they live, and in this way decentralizing the situation for the customer as well, because as you saw in the first picture, bus terminals get collapsed pretty quickly, and it could be beneficial also for a city to decentralize this in the future. So to give you a little bit of information about the timeline and when we started, why we started in Chile. We arrived in Chile in October 2013. Actually, we arrived here without Startup Chile, but we decided to go here because this program existed and because we saw a lot of opportunities in the market. We got into generation 10 of Startup Chile in 2014 and started out with the first prototype that at that point didn't have any booking function, but was just a comparison platform. And this prototype we used to apply to Startup Chile, and with this they accepted us. And this prototype already organically in Chile had more than 200,000 monthly users without any cent spent in marketing. It was just organic traffic, which just validated our solution that there's such a need from the customer to compare and to have transparency in this market, that this product already grew within the first phase of development. And afterwards, of course, with this traction on the B2C side, we could convince the first bus companies to actually integrate with us more deeply, develop APIs on our own to be able to sell the tickets directly into their system. And this is what we launched in Q1 2015. We launched with more than 800 routes and 7 bus operators. And since then, we grew exponentially. So today we are one of the top 10 e-commerce companies in Chile, measured by the amount of transactions. We process more transactions than the largest airline carriers here in Chile, and currently operate with more than 50 bus operators in Chile and Peru. And our next steps will be, of course, to go to the next markets and roll out our solutions across whole Latin America. So why did we decide on Chile? One really important argument for us was that Chile is really institutionally stable and also has a very good environment to do business. So it is a smaller market. It is one of the smallest markets for us in the region, but it is a very, very good platform to start from and to test your product. So what we did is basically we developed and refined our product here in Chile, and got it to a state where we can now scale it across all the other countries, having done all the work that was necessary to be able to scale. And also coming from Europe, from Germany, for me it was really important personally to live and to be able to spend my time in an environment where I feel comfortable, where I feel secure. And in this way, Chile is really awesome. Just, I would say, the most similar market to Europe in whole Latin America, my personal opinion. And it's really great to be on the ground here and to start your business in Latin America from Chile. Also, if you look at the environment for doing business, on the consumer side, you have the highest e-commerce readiness in Latin America. This is because, well, people own smartphones, are really also willing to test new technologies, and everybody has a bank account, almost everybody. This is really important as well, because if you start out doing an e-commerce business, you rely a lot on that the infrastructure is in place, and this is the case in Chile, and also there's almost zero fraud with regards to transactions, which especially in the early stages of a company is very important, because each fraud case can cost you a lot, and if it sums up, it might even threat your business. So it's a great start, because on that side you are more or less secure. Also, if you want to do technology transfer or look at what you could do here, what happened to us is actually that we were used to having solutions where you can compare different options to travel, where everything is already working and digitalized. And we came here to Chile, to Latin America, and saw that this didn't exist. And so it was kind of a no-brainer for us to try to implement it, because we already saw it working in Europe, and we had to adapt it, of course, to the local environment. But there was already some proof that a solution like this exists. So there are a lot of untapped opportunities in Chile and also in whole Latin America that are already in place in Europe and can be adapted here locally. So your chance of success might be higher. This is it in total. I mean, I would be very happy to answer any questions you might have, and also if you want to get to know some other details afterwards, I'm happy to answer emails or any questions further on. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Leonard, as well. I think this really put together the perfect picture about how a potential startup or an existing startup can actually land in Chile and expand exponentially. We now have some time for questions, and I imagine there's plenty. So I would like to open up the floor for our participants that can either connect with their sound and video and talk to us, or they can much probably in an easier way just write their questions in the chat of the Microsoft Teams. So I don't see any questions yet, but maybe let's give everybody a few seconds. Still no questions. Well, just to break the ice then, I will probably just start myself, and others, I imagine, might join. To Cesar, I have one very Latin American specific question. When we advise Czech companies that are trying to expand to Latin America, we usually tell them that speaking Spanish or having a representative that speaks Spanish is very important. How do you deal with startups that do not have this type of representation when they're trying to join your program? Or do you have any recommendations regarding this issue?
Very, very good question, Linda. We have certain types of solutions to help them with this issue. First, we have the opportunity for them to hire people here in Chile that can help them and can join them in their meetings, for example, to help to translate a little bit or to explain the solution to the businesses that, for example, here in Chile don't have a representative that can, for example, understand the presentation in English. We also have a companion solution that can help them to express the solution correctly in Spanish. Because we understand that it's very important. English is a very global language, but some of the countries here in Latin America are not ready yet to receive this type of solutions right away. And we also are testing different types of companion programs. For example, we have a certain shadow program where our alumni that already developed some business here in Chile and Latin America can join these new entrepreneurs and help them to get the perfect meeting to show their solution and to if possible, to get an arrangement or a commercial accord or something like that.
Thank you. We actually have one question in the chat. It states, does the support depend on moving the company to Chile for at least 1 year? Could you please address that?
Yes. The idea is that the company, we don't force, for example, I mean, okay, I'll have to divide my answer to that. In a normal program, you will have to come to Chile and stay in Chile for around a year. That it's like the whole duration of the program. The program itself lasts 6 months, but there are some certain previous processes, for example, when acquiring the visa, the Chilean legal documents, etc. So we say around a year, because also the extension process could take the last months of to complete these 12 months. In a normal program, that would have been the scenario. In this actual COVID contingency, the team leader doesn't have to actually come to Chile, but needs to hire someone here in Chile that can be a representative of their businesses. So, and if you mean, for example, establishing your businesses here, like incorporating your business here in Chile, we encourage that, but we don't force that. The only thing is that if you want to get, for example, the extension of the program, which is the other, for example, in the case of the seed program, the extra 40K, you will have to be incorporated here in Chile. So it's not mandatory, but we highly encourage that.
Okay, thanks a lot. I hope that fully answered the question. I think it did. If there is any other questions, your colleagues can definitely write in. Our colleagues can write in the chat. And so, Mr. Ambassador, do you want to also ask our colleagues something?
Yes, thank you, Eva. Thank you very much. I have, in fact, 2 questions for Cesar. One is you mentioned that startup program is tracking the use of the public funding. I mean, this amount of money that companies will receive, it's monitored somehow by startup. Could you explain this process and how these funds are given to the companies? And of course, I could put another question linked to that. If this virtual modality will affect in a way the funding. That is one question, or 2 in 1. And the second is you mentioned that in the this virtual modality, the companies or the applicants will have to hire a representative in Chile. What are the kind of functions or roles of this representative will have, and how do you think this could happen, or can you tell us the experience of the first batch that was digital that are finishing last week? I understand. Did you apply the same modality, or this is going to be the first time? Because I imagine that for companies from faraway countries to hire somebody in Chile could represent a bit of a challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Very, very good questions, both of them. First of all, about the funding, we have a special saying when we explain, we have a financial workshop where we tell all of our new entrepreneurs about the importance of the use of the funding and responsibility of that. We say, not only Startup Chile believed in you, it's the Chilean people that believe in you, because all of our money is from Chilean taxpayers. So it's not any accelerator believing in you, it's like the Chilean state through Startup Chile believing in you. So we give a lot of importance to that process. About how to receive the funding, we have two ways of using the funding. We have an upfront method where we pay half of the grant in a first instance. And then we have the tracking process. And if the tracking process is complete, at the end, they receive the second half around the third month of the active program. And the other method is a reimbursement method, where each business or entrepreneur uses their own money and then presents these expenditures that were made under the grant, and then we reimburse them back. About the tracking process itself, it's one of our key points, I think. We have people especially dedicated to the financial tracking of all the startups that we accept into the program. All the expenses must be approved by this financial executive in accord with the key account manager that is going to be reviewing the project. So we know previously all the expenses that are going to be charged to this grant. We have a list of expenses that we can't approve under any circumstances, but we believe in the auto applying of this grant. I don't know if I said it correctly, but the way that we do this process is that each entrepreneur will divide the grant the way that they believe it's the right way to do it. So a lot of people, for example, arrive to Startup Chile with their own solution already constructed. So they use the grant on commercial development, on marketing strategies, etc. And some other entrepreneurs have like only the very basic MVP. So they use part of the grant to finish their MVP, to arrive to a certain validation space, and then to start the commercial development. So we believe in the free usage of this grant under the rules that we already have set, as we are a public agency. And the last part of the first question, how this virtual methodology has affected that? Well, yeah, all the financial meetings that where each entrepreneur needs to show the expenses that they have made has to be translated to a virtual meeting. The complexity, and I think the challenge that we have there is that we are a very technological program, but we must comply to strict rules as we are part of the public sector. So we have to have physical folders of each about the oh, sorry, I forgot the word, the proof that of each expense. So the physical part has been a little bit of a challenge there. We are establishing methods so that the entrepreneurs can scan and upload these proofs, but the process has remained the same. It's a very strong process, and it's a very defined and streamlined process. So it hasn't been very difficult to continue that process in this virtual methodology. And now about the representative, yeah, that's a very new solution. The last installment of the program, they were the ones that closed or start their closing process last week, as the ambassador said. And we were able to actually receive them physically when they arrived in the first days of February this year. So this representative was not a thing for them. They didn't need to hire someone because they were actually here in Chile. So this first generation that we're going to receive now in July, it's going to be the very first pilot of this process of the representative here in Chile. What does the representative need to do for the startup when they are here in Chile? They need to be able to represent that solution in commercial meetings, in another type of processes that needs to be done here in Chile. For example, the signature, if they want to incorporate, etc. They need to be a full team member of that startup that they will have all the functions that can only be done here in Chile. All of the mandatory activities that we had for the team leader are now 100% virtually. So the team leader can remain in their own countries and participate virtually. But the representative, I think, in all honesty, will have the exact results of this process at the end of this generation. The new entrepreneurs that we are receiving in this month have a lot of questions about this process. It's a process that's being defined right now. So, but as for now, it has been worked very properly. There's a lot of support from previous entrepreneurs that are here in Chile to the new entrepreneurs. We have a very strong community, and we're very proud of that. So a lot of entrepreneurs that are already here in Chile, Chilean and from abroad, are being very helpful for the new entrepreneurs to get someone that they can trust, that can play this role of representative here in Chile. So that's one of the things that we are very happy, because as we are a public agency, we are not allowed to suggest anyone that can be hired in this role, and we can only approve the one that the entrepreneur has decided. So we are trying to provide guidance in this process, but the community itself has been very, very helpful in this complete process.
Thanks. I hope that answered your questions.
Yeah, I don't want to monopolize, but there is nobody else. I want to also jump with another question.
Yeah, maybe before you jump in, Ambassador, we checking. No, we don't have any other questions in the chat. Maybe just one really technical short question. How many startups actually applied in the last year, and how many were selected, or what's the general success selection rate in your program?
Yeah, we accept around 10% of the applicants. So our complete applicants for example, the last process were more than 500, sorry, and we accepted around 55. We have a very complex process of selection. We have the help of external judges. We do interviews. We review the application very completely. And as we have been growing and we have been getting a lot of more traction internationally, the number of applicants of each process has started to grow a lot. So our acceptance rates right now, it's around 10%.
That's impressive. We hope our startups can stand out.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure.
Yeah, Ambassador, if you want to follow up with your other question.
Thank you. Yes, I have a question for Mr. Leonard Ruff. The many activities of a startup, the mentoring, the networking, the financing operation. I would like to know which one of those dimensions were more important for your development of the record.
I think the acceptance into Startup Chile was really important for the financing standpoint of our company, because getting into Startup Chile is like receiving basically the best approval you could get in the local environment to later on approach investors. Basically, every good investor here in the region somehow expects that you went through Startup Chile or some other accelerator, but Startup Chile is really the best one here locally. And so this helped to have like some social proof, if you want to say so, to later on get financing from private investors and institutional investors, especially for our case. I mean, we in 2015 or late 2014 raised a seed round with a private investor from Switzerland and also a local family office here in Chile. And Startup Chile was a main driver in achieving this, because of course one thing is that you have a good business idea, that you have the first traction and positive growth numbers, but another thing is that you can get or you already went through kind of an approval process that is really sophisticated and has a lot of history already. So this helped a lot in conversations with investors. And of course, in the development of our prototype, also the grant we received from Startup Chile was key to be able to get to those numbers that I mentioned. We had some small angel investment in the beginning, but to be able to continue developing our prototype and to get some more traction here, to be more attractive to investors, the grant, the money we received from the program was really important. And of course, not to forget is all the mentoring and guidance you receive through the program itself, especially local connections. If you want to do business locally, Startup Chile really has a great network where you can get in touch with the right people. You can accelerate certain processes. especially if I think about bank accounts, it was such a problem for us before getting into Startup Chile to get a bank account in Chile, because banks are really conservative, and if you don't have the right path to get to the right people in the bank, it can take some time. And Startup Chile really accelerates all this, and you get rid of all the hassle, of all the bureaucracy in a very smooth way.
Thank you as well. We actually have one question in the chat, which is, has anybody from the Czech Republic already applied? Well, I can just say from our side that we know about some cases, one in particular that it's an alumnus of the program of Startup Chile. But maybe, Cesar, if you have a better overview of applicants and maybe ones that weren't even selected, we don't really have those numbers, so it might be actually interesting to find out.
The exact number of applicants, I am not sure, but I can tell you that a certain percentage now that we have this traction that I was telling before, we kinda expect, for example, certain percentage from applicants, for example, from Europe, from Africa, from Latin America. So I can say that we have, I think around, and this is a very personal statistic, please don't take it only like that. I think around 5 applicants from Czech Republic in these seed processes yearly, I think. Yeah.
Thank you.
And we have in our alumni startups from there too.
Okay, thanks a lot. Well, the chat is actually getting more alive now. There's another question. Startups in Chile are not funded by EU funds through Corfo. So is that true? Can you actually address that issue? It's a more general issue, not just about the program.
Yeah, we only get, as we are a public agency, we worry and we work with our own funds. We help other funds, for example, in their own, for example, when they are doing this application process, we share the information, but we don't actually like conduct to other funds from, not even from Corfo. We just encourage them to apply if they are a subject of or possible subject of another fund, but no, we don't do that.
Okay, thank you for that. I don't know if there's any other questions in the room. Maybe one more question to Leonard from myself. You were mainly talking about all the opportunities because of the maybe gaps in the market, certain products not being present in Latin America. You did mention one obstacle being the bank account, but in general, do you see some specific challenges for a startup coming to Latin America as the market? Do you think there's some specifics really that we should look at to take them into consideration?
Like from my experience, maybe it's cultural challenges a little bit, because from Germany, I'm used to other cultures in terms of negotiation in comparison to Chile. I had to adapt to this, of course, getting to know the dynamics here. Things might take longer, for example, or statements that were made that in Germany would indicate that something moves forward. Here is not that much the case. Sometimes it takes longer. You need some more convincing. And in that case, it of course was a challenge to adapt to this. I think it's always the case if you expand to other markets that you have to adapt to the local cultures, the way of doing business. But in terms of standards, the contracts you do, the environment in general, it's very very comfortable as an entrepreneur here. You have a high standard of transparency. You can enforce contracts if you have to do. There's really like a very good legal framework and security provided by the institutions here, and this is I think very key if you think about expanding to other markets, that you can be confident in this. And in that case, we had no problems at all. I mean, it's just the personal things where I had to adapt, of course, to culture, but in general, it's really easy to do business here, and also all the tax environment, for example, is really favoring doing business in Chile if I compare it, for example, to Germany.
Great, thanks a lot. So it's overall positive after all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know, Ambassador, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I do. I would like to ask Cesar, what is the main difficulty or the difficult part of an application process? And I wonder if you could advise the eventual applicants. How long does it take? What advice could you give for those that are thinking of applying? Will that take a week or a month, or what is the most difficult part?
Very good question, and probably it comes from very near Startup Chile, but I think our application process is not difficult at all. I think it's very simple. I think that we have pivoted and we have worked on our application forms a lot. So we have changed questions. We are adapting constantly to get the necessary information for us to judge the startup and to provide a space for the entrepreneur that it's easy to say the key points of their own startup. As we have a wide variety, as we are industry agnostic, each question needs to be constructed very carefully so that all the variety of possible startups that we can accept in the program are free to receive this opportunity. The application process completely lasts, I think, almost 2 months, because it has very different steps. One of them has to be an interview. We make a first filter, only reviewing the applications itself. Then we get and we schedule interviews for most of them that can help us to get key points that could be missing from the application itself. And now, like a word of advice in the application, I think more than just an application on Startup Chile, this is a word of advice in applying to any program. And I think my main advice there would be completely honest. Give the information as it's asked. Be very clear with your answers. If they are asking for traction, don't be afraid to set the actual traction that you have, because maybe you are part of the objective audience for that funding, and you need to be very clear where you are. I think one of the saddest parts is to see, for example, when we are doing the interview, that part of the application wasn't true. I think that part, that type of behavior already speaks volumes about yourself, about your business, about the way that you conduct yourself in these processes. So I think to straightforward questions, straightforward answers, and be 100% honest all the time. And I'm sure that you will find someone that will believe in your business.
I think those were pretty inspiring words that we can possibly go to close with. I'm sorry. Yeah. Our colleague wants to ask something, but I don't have the time to read it. Fine, Max, do you wanna ask?
No.
Do you wanna ask? No.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Sorry. This is not the best way to do this. Okay, is there a later program that helps companies that were successful with startup programs and want to project outside of Chile?
Yes, very good question also. We have a program that is called Go Global that helps startups from Chile and from abroad that are developing business in Chile to get to another markets. That program was piloted last year, and I think now it's working in full force. And the actual offer of that program right now, I am not entirely sure, because it's very based not on funding itself, but more to provide a soft landing processing in these different markets, co-working space, and connections. And from our side, we have a program that it's going to start later this year that it's called Growth, that it's like the next step from the seed program. So the seed program is for validation and for testing of the commercial testing of an MVP, and the growth program would be like the following step to expand in terms of sales in Chile, in the region, and in the whole world.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. I don't know if there's any more questions in the room. Seems like there are not. There's no more questions in the chat. So I think we have covered all the bases, and obviously there's going to be a chance to contact you, as you mentioned before, if anybody wants to inquire about the details about the call that will come up in the fall. Also, I'd like to mention that our colleagues from Czech Trade were also present at the call, so they can also assist Czech companies going to Chile. Anybody can contact us, and obviously the Chilean embassy and Pro Chile as well. I would like to ask His Excellency and the Deputy Minister if they have any closing remarks that they would like to say to the participants.
Thank you so much. Just to thank again the Ministry, Deputy Minister as well for this opportunity. And the important thing is that now you know about the program. You will have, I suppose, the presentation. This is recorded, so you will have plenty of opportunities to go back to Startup Chile to ask for questions. The only important thing I would say to Cesar is that he may, or his colleague could advise us exactly about the date to rely that when the date is defined for the next call. Thank you so much again for my colleagues and Mr. Leonard Ruff also. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for having us.
Yeah, just maybe from my side, I also would like to thank very much for the organization. It was a pleasure to see at least virtually friends from Chile responsible for startup environment or startupists themselves. So it was very refreshing, I would say. So I just to confirm that we were very happy to work on even closer cooperation, actually through the ministry of both divisions that are present here, the international and digital innovation. I will be very happy to support that, and also the agencies that we have, and that they are more and more involved in innovation and startup environment. That on the Czech side are Czech Trade, that was already mentioned, and Mr. Škoda is virtually here, and Czech Invest, that is also the agency that does a lot in supporting the startup environment in Czech Republic, including the international cooperation. So together with the colleagues, we will disseminate the information on the seed program, if you allow us, around the Czech startup environment, and we're very happy if you will see more Czech startups in Chile soon. So thanks a lot. It was extremely useful and refreshing for us, and I'm looking forward for further cooperation. Thanks again to all the organizers of this virtual event. Thank you.
Thank you once more, and with this we can close, and we'll send you all the information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.